Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, January 9th, 2023. We're already into the second week of January. Yay! For those of you counting, I think that means, what, 50 more weeks until Christmas, I think? Something like that. If you're counting. If you're counting. So, wow. It is already the ninth, and trying to get as much done as I can right now on the Bronco, and I am making progress. It looks like a huge mess behind me, and it pretty much is. You can see there's the tailgate, over here's the Bronco, the hood's over here behind me, there's the grill is up here on top of the front end, and all kinds of stuff going on. So what I've been working on is trying to get the roll bar, the dash, the door panels, glove box, and ashtray, in this case ashtrays, painted the color of choice, which is Wimbledon white. So I was spraying that today. I finished up a little while ago, and let me tell you, that Wimbledon white, I did single stage. That's some sticky stuff. That is, it just, if I wanted to, I probably could have taken out a knee if I tried to twist in there while I was painting. Just to show you, I've got my my black sneakers are no longer. They're frosted. They're frosted, and you can look at the bottom and see all the all the material stuck to it. So that's the same way it is with. I was wearing a sweatshirt. I've got a frosty sweatshirt now, and pants are the same way. So things are looking good though. Everything's painted. I say 2 ashtrays because I didn't know whenever I was going through the box of parts. I was talking to the owner and I said, I got the ashtray and a glove box. And he said, oh, wait, there's 2 ashtrays if you want to paint them both. Okay. So I had to dig out the other one and get it prepped. And the door panels needed a little bit of work. They were kind of beat up. So I did some body work on those, get those straightened up. And everything's painted. So there will be a video coming out on all of that very soon. Along with that, just to let you know, there will be another video coming out on, if you remember, my daughter's Kia had the brake ABS pump fail. And I fixed that. I did not make a video on that in particular. But while I was fixing that, replacing that pump, I found that the radiator was leaking. It had a crack in it. So I did a video on replacing the radiator in a 2007 Kia Sportage. I know everybody is drooling to see that video, right? But hey, it's what pays the bills. Gotta have stuff on there to pay the bills. So I'm glad y'all are here. I hope we have a good crowd tonight. I don't have a specific subject in mind, so if anybody has any topics they want to bring up, you will be definitely rewarded with the bell, of course. And if you don't know, if anybody is new here, I like to give a little reward for participation. Yeah, that's the way I am, just so you know. So let's see who's here. Right off the top, Chris Greenaway was first. Whoops, wait. There you go. So he gets the first bell. Glad you're here, Chris. Greg Blinko checking in from Australia. Glad you're here, Greg. Steve's Money Pit. Barry, hopefully you finish the Bronco so you can get on with sheet metal. Well, finish is relative. I've gotten stuff finished, but I'm not quite where I need to be just yet, but glad you're here. Terry Keithley. Evening all, and Barry, please hit the thumbs up and like button. Thank you kindly. Thank you, Terry. Donnie Williams. Greetings, everyone. Glad you're here, Don. Or Donnie, whichever you prefer. Rick Stevenson checking in. Good evening, everyone. Glad you're here, Rick. Little sip of coffee there. Troy Justit. Oh, sorry, Rick. Troy Justit, evening all, happy Monday from coastal Georgia. Glad to hear, Troy. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Good evening to all. Please click the thumbs up button. Thank you, Jerry. Hope your shoulder is improving. Ed Cucciarella. Hello. Hello, Ed. Robert checking in from Texas. Just a quick hi and bye. I'm headed out the door. Everyone behave while I'm gone. Okay. Well, maybe you'll be here later. Maybe we'll still be here. I don't know. But glad you're here, Robert. At least you checked in. Bob Shoemaker. Good evening from mild 60s, Oklahoma. Yes. Today, I was just looking at that a little bit ago. We are currently at about 46 degrees here in Georgia. We had a high of 54. Looks like we may get up to 60 tomorrow. So we still have some chilly weather coming through, but it's improving, better than the freezing stuff we had a couple weeks ago. Glad you're here, Bob. Nandu, good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing good. Thanks, Nandu. Same to you. Rick Gain, hello, everyone. I almost forgot it was Monday. Well, I'm glad you're here, Rick. How can we forget when it's Monday? Everybody dreads Monday. I know I do. Busted Uncle Garage, Tommy checking in from Birmingham. Glad you're here, Tommy. Jerry checking in. Howdy, y'all. Just a quick hi from Columbus, South Carolina. I hope y'all have a good evening. Glad you stopped in, Jerry. Oh, that bell was a little bit different just for you. Dave Conville. Hello, all. Hey, Dave. Rick, what is an ashtray? You may have to explain for some of your younger viewers. I don't know if I have that many younger viewers, but I think they could probably figure it out. I hope. Yeah, the old cars used to have, people would smoke in their cars. Yeah, so you had an ashtray in the car. It's hard to believe people use those. Let's pause on that for just a moment. Just pause on that. Now, I do know, I remember in my dad's junkyard, we would go through the cars and look for stuff. And it was always, you check everywhere. And many times you would open up the ashtray and there would be a bunch of cigarette butts in there. And yeah, it's kind of bizarre when you think about it now. Granted, people smoke in their cars. I know that. But I don't know if I know anybody these days that would actually use the ashtray that's in their vehicle. Most everybody has the window open a little bit and flips the ash out the window and eventually throws a cigarette out the window, right? Because that's what you do. Throw it out on the ground. Let Mother Nature deal with it. But yeah, that's kind of a bizarre thing to think about now, I guess. But glad you're here. Glad you brought that up. We need to make sure all the youngins know what an ashtray is. Mr. Mikey, good evening, all. Glad you were here. Troy, glad to see you found a part for your daughter's Kia. I had no luck out here. I actually got it off of eBay. There were, I think, only 2 listed on eBay, and the one guy wanted $375, and he specifically said, no guarantee this will work. This is only meant to be a core for you to have rebuilt. Like, well, wait a minute. I have one of those. I don't need another core. And the other guy, he had I guess from a junkyard, he was like $200 with shipping. And if it doesn't work, send it back. You have 60 days. Okay. You got my money. So that's the one I went with. I was able to get it swapped out. And it seems to be working. However, the problem you have with disconnecting all 6 brake lines, because you have 2 mains coming in and then 4 coming out to go to each wheel, is you really induce a lot of air really easily. So, we had bled the brakes several times, and I've been driving it now. I'm trying to see if I can get some of the softness out of the pedal before I give it back to her. But, yep, got it in hand, so that was good. Lightning Rod checking in from PA. Glad you're here, Rod. New River in the house. Okay. Glad you're here, New River. Jerry checking in. Oh, Jerry is saying, shoulders mending good. I can put my belt through the loops on my jeans. Well, that is a positive. That is a positive. Now you can wear jeans. You don't have to wear shorts, right? William, -5 Celsius here in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Okay. And he says, this is extremely warm for us. Extremely warm? Usually negative 20 degrees Celsius. Oh my goodness. You can have it. You can have it. I don't want it. I don't want it. You can have it. It's all you. Negative 20. Man. And Ed McConaughey. Hello, everyone from West Georgia. Glad, or EJ, sorry. I made that. I just went to Ed because I saw the E. EJ McConaughey. Hello, everyone from West Georgia. Glad you're here, EJ. Okay. So, whoop. Oh, William says, yeah, thumbs up. Thanks. Like I said, I'm trying to get pieces done on the Bronco project. And, you know, that roll bar, that's a big piece. It's not that heavy, like two people can carry it around, but you really can't do anything else with it. It just takes up space. So I will be just, once it's dry, I'm going to give it a couple days anyhow to dry out nice. It's going to go outside. It may go sit up on his trailer that he has sitting here. And because why have it in the garage taking up space? Along with that, you know, the door panels, I'll probably wrap those up in some paper, put them in some boxes, get those set aside. Same way with the dash and those pieces. I did run into a problem. Unfortunately, because I had the dash, it's got a main, you know, vertical face, and then it angles back towards let's say the steering wheel, the driver. And I was spraying it, not really thinking, just trying to get a good coat on, and I got too much on that up back angle. So I got some runs right there. Not fun. So I'm gonna have to take care of that. Get that. I guess I can sand it out, but it's gonna have to cure up nice before I get to that point. And then we came to an agreement, I guess, me and the owner. We already talked about the fact that the front section is going to get Raptor bed liner, and that from there forward, it's going to be black. Okay, everything, and then except for the top of the cowl, it's going to be body color. And then we were discussing the idea of what we were going to want to do on the inside. And after some research, and I think he got to see some stuff that made him happy, we decided we're going to put Raptor on the inside of the cab area, but it's going to be tinted. So there is some, you can order Raptor in a clear formula, and then you have to buy tint, and you mix that in, and you can spray it, and it's going to be basically body color. So now the plan, I think, of course, is to I probably will take care of the front end and be able to mask all that off, and then also do the interior and just mask all that off. And that way all that is done and out of the way, and I don't have to think about it. I think that's the plan at this point. Oh, Jerry sent me some pictures. Hold on a second. I'm going to download a couple of those so that we can see those cars, or those pictures. Let's see, Michael. Hi, Barry. See if the scan tool has a auto bleed function for the Kia. Well, that's a good idea. As soon as the scan tool shows up. I emailed that company and I said I have not received that scan tool because they had said it would be like a couple weeks, and I never got it. So I sent them an email back, and I said, hey, this, just so you know, this tool never showed up. And they replied to my email, and they said, well, unfortunately, a lot of their workers have COVID or are dealing with, COVID over there. So when it gets here, it gets here. But I'm hoping. I was hoping it would show up before I had to go through all this, but anyway, I appreciate the idea, but I'm kind of stuck with where I'm at right now. Rick, sometimes bleeding an anti-lock brake pump requires assist from a bidirectional scan tool. Okay, well there you go. There's some good information, and I may end up doing that, and getting to that point that I have to have it. Busted Knuck Tommy says car ashtrays are for loose change. Yes, they are now. Chris, what's your favorite Fumico paint? You mean like a color? Is that what you're asking? Because I have several. Believe it or not. I have several, if you're asking what the favorite color is. Acapulco Blue is high on my list. I do like the Gulfstream Aqua, which I've painted on Jade, which is the original color. And I like Grabber Blue, the original, 70 Grabber Blue. I like that a lot. Those are probably my top three at this point. So, other than that, I can't think of any other specific colors by Fomico. So, those will have to be my default answers. Jerry, okay. I sent you some pictures of the Chattanooga car show of my car, runner up to best in class. All right. So there's the Mustang. Nice display. I like that. That looks good, Jerry. Runner up to best in class. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll give you a bell for that, Jerry. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, Gary Livingston. Ironically, as you did the Brooklyn Pony Series, my son and I restored a 65 Mustang. Now we're working on a 73 Bronco. Well, unfortunately, I won't be doing any metal work, like no welding of major pieces or anything, assembly of the Bronco. I'm just going to be doing the paint work. So that's where it stands. And, I've probably mentioned it before. I've considered the idea of trying to build some of these bodies. And it's still back here on the side of my head somewhere. But I would have to have a jig, to build it on. And I don't know that I have that desire to go that far just at this point. If I had a frame that I could use as a template, or if I had a jig that somebody else had, or I could copy a jig, then I might consider doing it. But at this point, probably not going to happen. James Smothers, if you did another build like Brooklyn Pony all the way to paint, how much would you realistically charge? Oh, that's a good question. All the way to paint. So you're talking like a true turnkey done car, right? Because that's what that car would have been. It would have been turnkey. I think the only thing that I wasn't going to do on that car was the convertible top, actually installing it. And I wasn't sure what he was doing on the interior, whether he was going to get like a TMI kit or something like that. That's a tough question. That really is. Because all the work involved with that, honestly, probably 60 to 70 grand. I mean, just saying, that's just a large scale number. Oh, you're saying not assembled, just up to paint. So you're saying build the car, and then paint it, not do the engine and all drivetrain and all that sort of thing. So you're talking just a body, I guess, roller setup. That's a tough question. Probably still looking 30, 35. I would say. I mean, there's a lot of hours in that, and making those pieces fit the car. So I'm just going to ballpark it, say 30, 35. I mean, a paint job, at the minimum is 10 grand, at the minimum, just to paint. Any more, and that's probably a bargain. Um, I could tell you this: well, I went to the paint store the other day, and I bought basically. Let me just show you real quick. This is the list of paint materials. You look at that. So I've got a gallon of reducer, a gallon of clear, a quart of Wimbledon white, which is what I was spraying on the roll bar and stuff, or actually 2 quarts. 2 quarts of Wimbledon white, 2 8-ounce containers of hardener, slow top coat hardener, 2 quarts, 1 tube of seam sealer, a quart of urethane sealer, a quart of high build 2K primer hardener, a gallon of paint of the limestone green, the high build 1 gallon of 2K primer surfacer, and that was it. So, any guesses on that list? I don't know if you can see the numbers or not. I'm trying to hide the numbers. But if you just guess how much that cost, that little list. Go ahead. Let's see. Bad Harry Hayberry, give myself a break away from the 67 to see what you're up to. Okay, cool. Yeah, that car's looking amazing. Your car's looking amazing. Jerry, there was a 71 Bronco, and rumor around the car show he had 400,000 in the build, and all he was recognized for was his display. That's crazy. $400,000. No. Okay, so yeah, not assembled, just up to paint. Yes, just a body. Yep. I'm still probably 30, 35. Yeah. Lightning Rod, Acapulco Blue is a great color. I agree. Okay, Shane. Seen a 64 Falcon on Pittsburgh Craigslist last week for $900. It was further along on Eileen. I would have considered. Oh, if I was further along on Eileen, I would have considered picking it up. Yeah, 64 Falcon. That's a pretty cool car. So glad you're here, Shane. Dawn checking in. Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. Making project progress. Good. Good to hear. Lightning Rod. Wimbledon white is a classic color. That is true. But that's not on my list of favorite colors in the Ford color scheme. Just saying. Okay. So we have James saying 2,600. Doyle 1,600. Troy 1,500. Well, I'm gonna have to make a little note here. I get a little bit of a discount. Just to let you know, I get a little bit of a discount. So, Steve says $900. Oh, Troy says after pricing paint for mine, I would say $1,500. Lynn, $5,800. I would not be able to do any of this if it was $5,800. But yeah, that's a high number, Lynn. Dawn, I estimated Betsy at $30K. Added up my receipts of yesterday, $16,885.50, and I ain't done yet. Well, but you're doing the whole thing. Yeah, in this case, he was talking about just building the body and painting it. So I was assuming no suspension mods. I don't even know what the parts cost now. That's another hard thing to figure out. Dave Tyson, $1,200. I'm going to go close enough for Dave. This little laundry list $1,186.75. $1,186.75. And I mean, I could have carried it all out in one big box, but it was in a couple smaller boxes. So yeah, things add up really fast. And that's not even counting the cost of like sandpaper, Scotch Brite, masking tape, plastic, masking paper, strainer. Anyway, they gave you strainers for free. The materials to put the stuff in, like the PPS cup system, add in all of those elements, and it goes up really fast. Really fast. Dawn, 2000 for paint. That's what you spent, Dawn? I assume. Harvey, hi Barry. Sorry I'm a little late to the party. Under the weather tonight, but still enjoy your show. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Harvey. I appreciate you. I didn't give there's a couple others that I didn't give bells to, so there's your makeup bells. You can always pick one, whichever one you want. Rick, I know I'm late, but I was going to say 1200. What does the winner of The Price is Right get? It gets a bell. James Smothers, I'm going to email you about my car. Okay. Now, the difficulty, of course, with me doing this stuff, building something in that case, it's just me. It's just me. At times I still wish I had a body shop building and I had workers and I was able to crank out, multiple projects at the same time. But yeah, it's difficult when you do basically everything 99% by yourself. I mean, I get help from Roger, which I appreciate so much. I've even contacted my neighbor on the other side of me and said, "Hey, what are you doing? I need help setting this hood on," and he's come over and helped me put a hood on. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it would be nice to have 2 or 3 people in here just going around and around the cars and getting them done. That would be really exciting to have that happen. But it's tough when you're by on your lonesome. Lightning Rod, that price doesn't include cold beverages after a day of paint work. That is true. That is true. It's hard to claim that in the list, though. Dawn, I haven't bought paint yet. That was a guess for your list. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, $1,200. I guess, just a gallon of the limestone green, the 1 gallon of paint, was $233 by itself. High build primer, $133 by itself. So, and the clear coat kit, I think it was like $300 and some, if I remember right. Yeah, I think it's $300 and some. Anyway. Rick, does your daughter get to drive Jade while you're working on her Kia? That's funny. No. 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 And I'll just say this. No. No. I wouldn't even let her. I'd let her sit in it, but I doubt that I would let her even start it. Just saying. Not to be mean, but no. I have this friend of mine. Now she is a very handy person. She builds like stage props. She gets her hands dirty making stuff. She's very, very much a builder in that realm for like stage work, building like trees and building a horse and all kinds of stuff. And she's always doing these things. And occasionally she'll ask me for help. Like, hey, can you weld this, or can you do this, or can you do that? Fabrication type things. And every time she comes over, she wants to drive my car. She wants to drive Jade. Can I drive that? No. Nope. She's like, what do you mean? I said, no. No. It's one of those things. It's kind of like, when my sons were young, and I would be working on something out here in the garage, and they wouldn't come out and help. I would try to get them to help, and after I get all that stuff together, then they're like, can I drive it? Nope. You didn't help. You don't have any sweat in this car. Sorry. Not going to work that way. So, yeah, she's not going to drive it. Bob, I had a customer that did cement pumper trucks, and material cost were 12 to 15 grand. Okay. That's a big number. Yeah. Leonard, late to the show. How's everyone doing? Glad you're here, Leonard. I think we're doing okay. Doyle, I am 2 years in and 6K so far and not in 2K yet. Still have the hood and trunk lid to go. Whew. Adds up quick. It adds up quick. Michael, doing the rear... Michael Pagliarini. I got to say Pagliarini, just in case. Doing the rear floor pan of my 65 Mustang, and noticed a tunnel for the e-brake cable is open into the frame rail. Do you know if that rail should be capped or open to the elements? The tunnel for the e-brake cable is open into the frame rail. I'm trying to picture that. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that right now because I can't put it in my head. Don probably has an answer for us. He might have a good answer for that. I can't picture that right now in my mental map of my brain. So let me see if that rolls around a little bit. Don, PPG wants $847 for base and clear. That now that depends on your clear. It depends on your clear. I'm not sure which level of clear you're going with, but based on this number, now again, I get a little bit of a discount because I buy stuff, but if my gallon of green was $233, they do sell another level of clear coat that is $600 a gallon. That much I know. And then as I was talking to my PPG guy, which I've known for years, I said, do you see that big of a difference between the $300 clear and the $600 clear? And he implied, how did he put it? The hardener, I believe, like I think he sold me the $300 clear with the $600 hardener. I think is what he told me. So do the math on that if you want, but he told me, he said in his opinion, it wasn't enough to justify the cost difference. So, but maybe it does. James, PPG Raven Black base coat clear coat is $4.50 a gallon for just the base. Yeah, it's all gone up. It's crazy. It's all gone up. Like I said, I get somewhat of a discount with my PPG rep. Chris, hope you finish up the Mustang and Camaro, then retire. Yeah. I thought I did retire. Steve, I definitely use lower cost materials. My primer is $60 a gallon, and clear kits are $140 a gallon. Yeah, there's different products out there. So I know I was buying clear coat. It was a European clear. I think I was paying about $150 for that. And then with this, I want to step it up a bit. So that's why I went with the better clear. And hopefully it meets that expectation. Okay, so I have to show this picture. There you go. So, lightning rod, post up a picture of jade. How about that? Just sit back and enjoy that for a minute while I drink some of my good coffee. Good coffee. That's not a bad idea. A little bit of eye candy. Yeah, okay. There you go, Rod. Let me pull that back down. But along with that, let me just show you the other car, right? So here's Poco, the one I'm calling Poco, and then where's the other one? I had it on the side over here. Well, here's another shot of jade. Now see that color, that just doesn't look right. That is jade though, but it's not the right night. We know how the camera tricked us all on that. But here's this is what Red Dave, the one I called Red Dave. That's the one I'll probably be selling that one. Probably, but I have not committed just yet. Not just yet. Let's see, where are we at? Shane, the price of single stage paint, including a gallon of primer, is less than half of base clear without primer. Thinking of going that direction now. Thoughts? There's nothing wrong with that. Really isn't. The advantages there's advantages both ways. So as an example, I wanted to paint that roll bar, door panels, dash, and if you get in there and you spray base, that's one thing, get all over it. Then you got to come back in and spray clear, get all over it. So you're like painting everything kind of twice. With a single stage, in my case, the roll bar, granted it took almost three coats to get a good covering on it, but I would have had to do that with regular base anyway. So that just takes away part of that process. The other thing is, if you spray base, you can touch up some things by itself. If you have a problem, you can get a window of time where you can fix it, get it right before you spray the clear on. With clear, you can stack up clear coat, probably 3 layers deep to color sand and buff and all that sort of thing. Now you can still do that with the base. People have been doing that for years, and you have to just be careful with it. I mean, it'll lay out nice, and you can color sand and buff, but you got to be maybe a little more cautious. So I'm not sure where the trade-off is. Like if you're planning on to color sand and buff, you got to put enough material on there to cover it. Like, is 1 gallon going to be enough? I don't know. It might take 2 gallons to get there to make sure you have enough material. So just kind of think about it from those angles a little bit. But good question. Rick, I thought maybe your daughter maybe get some perks since you named the channel after her. Well, yeah, she does. I'm fixing her car. I fixed her car multiple times for her at my cost. So yeah, she does get some perks. Bad Harry, my fastback build with a Coyote engine, 4-link with coilovers, IFS front end, disc brakes, and the list goes on and on. Did all work myself, and it is expensive. At 30 to 40% more in Canada money. I'll bet. I don't even want to think about it. I'll bet. And I think I showed some pictures to that last week. Maybe I didn't. Or maybe I deleted them. Yeah, I don't see them. Anyway, but yeah, I'm sure it all adds up really fast. Jerry, on my 66, the e-brake did not enter into the frame rail. So there's one answer. Door Doyle, what is the shelf life of 2K primer? Eastwood says 2 years. Can I still use it or toss it to be safe? Um, I'll be honest. I've used paint well over 2 years. I have. I keep it shaken up. You know, um, some of this 2K or some of this epoxy I used was probably well over 2 years old, but I keep it shaken up. So I can't say yes or no. I really can't. It's going to be your decision, but I don't know what the only thing I could see is if you left it sit and it didn't get shaken up, that the solids would go to the bottom of the can and kind of condense, and it's really hard to get that stuff back loose into the can. So that would probably be the biggest concern. James, Michael P. The e-brake hump tunnel above the frame rail is open. Ford deleted that design in '67 and up. So Michael Pagliarini, I think there's a couple of answers for you. Thank you all. Dennis Paulson. Hello, Barry Gang. Hello, Dennis. Glad you're here. Lightning Rod. When I get around to painting my car, I'm going to Home Depot for some house paint and a brush. Crazy. Well, you could do the Eastwood roller kit, right? Or you just get bed liner. Just spray it with bed liner stuff. It's not that expensive. Chris, my painter, said the cost is based on what you want. The higher the paint, the longer it lasts, and the highest clear is more resistant to stone chips and such. Ceramic, he says, is a gimmick. Must be old. Oh, must be old school. Yeah, I've not messed with ceramic, so I don't have an opinion on it. But yeah, you pretty much get what you pay for when it comes to paint materials. Dave, have you painted water-based paint? No, I have not. When we still had the body shop, that was becoming more of the norm, and we were working our way towards that, but we never got there. Never got there, but that's a good question. I know it takes some special ventilation to make that happen. Lynn, can you put metallic in your clear coat? I think so. I don't see why not. Yeah. Pretty sure you can. They put pearl in clear coat. I've seen that before. I think I've seen it in clear coat, I think. The pearl, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can put metallic in there. Dawn, Michael, that tunnel for the e-brake is left open, made for dual exhaust clearance, although I've not seen the need for that. So there you go. There's another angle on that, Michael. Leonard, wow, so much for red oxide primer. Yeah. Yep. Lightning Rod, thanks for the picture of Jade. Stunning. Yes, thank you. Jerry says, what brand of coffee do you use? Well, I'm finishing off the 1820 that Rick Stevenson sent me. So that's what I've been consuming. This is my last cup, actually. Tonight finished off the last package, what was left of the 1820. So, better enjoy it. But I think we got something in there. You know how it is. The schools, they sell stuff. And our grandkids, our grandson, preschool, they sell coffee to raise money and whatever. So my wife bought some coffee. So that'll probably be my go-to coffee now that I'm done with what I had. But good question, Jerry. Bad Harry, I just sent you a few pictures. Oh, okay. Yeah. You had sent me these the other day, and I forgot about that. So we're gonna pull up some of these pictures that Bad Harry has sent. See if I have enough room in my inventory. Let me get rid of this one. I don't know what that picture is. So check this out. This is the back of Bad Harry's Fastback. Now I like that ghost stripe. That looks pretty cool. I must admit, I like that. Then there's this angle here, and I'm. Oh, he said what the color was. Viper Pearl Metallic Blue. Viper Pearl Metallic Blue. And there's another shot. Gorgeous car. Really is. That's going to look really good tearing down the track. Well done. Well done. Give you a bell for that. Bad Harry, I have used paint 4 years old. So there you go. There's another response on the paint question, or at least materials question. Dave Britton. Hi, Barry and everyone. Hi, Dave. Glad you were here. Lightning Rod, how many remember the metal flake of the 70s? Huge flakes. You are absolutely right. And I was just, you had me thinking here for a second. I don't know if I could pull up. Let me see if I have these pictures. Because I don't remember if I had any on here or not. But when we did when I rebuilt the dune buggy, that car, the dune buggy, was originally a blue with heavy flake, and then I wanted something different, so I went with orange with a heavy flake, and let me see if I have. I'm just gonna look real quick in my group of photos. Because I haven't. Okay, let me see if I have a picture of that. I don't know if I have an up close shot. Yeah. I don't know if this will do justice to it. But I'll just pull this up real quick. So, okay. So you're talking about heavy flake. Check this out. This is the dune buggy that I rebuilt. I don't know what year it was. 2011 or something. It was early on in my videos that I picked up this dune buggy and rebuilt it. But that's the dune buggy, the one I call speed buggy. And again, it was originally blue, and that dune buggy, of course, not as it sits, but as I bought it at a yard sale for $100, where a tree had fallen on the driver's side and crushed the side of it, and part of it was burned, and the whole chassis was garbage. So I actually bought a 68 Bug, took the body off, shortened the chassis 14 inches, made everything fit back the way it was, and then finished out the body work and painted it. That was one of the things we got done at the body shop years ago. Finished it up at the body shop. Rick, just to let people know, the Eastwood Professional Brake Line flaring tool is well worth the money. Okay. Thank you, Rick. Bad Harry, check out House of Colors. They have lots of stuff you can mix with clear coat. That is true. Good point. Chris, still looking for painters on the formula. Apparently red, blues, orange are okay, but black paint, people tense up and get the jitters. Yeah, they do. I told you it has to be perfect for them to paint it black. Rick, I guess that I'll have to get you some more. You can if you want. That's fine. It's up to you. It's up to you. I appreciate it. Dave Britton, looks great, Harry. Yes, I agree. That car does look great. Harvey, the thicker viscosity of clear may make it more difficult to mix and spray a consistent metallic pattern. That is a very accurate statement. Yes. Thank you, Harvey. Harry says, thanks, Dave. Wild Bill. Better late than never. Hi, Barry. Hi, Bill. Glad you're here. Dawn. The paint I'm shooting the jams with is from the 80s. Seems fine so far. That's awesome. That really is. If it's still working, good for you. Good for you. Chris, my favorite Ford color is midnight blue, dark blue metallic for Mercury, sharp color, original paint, and it was quite heavy from the factory. Okay. Jerry, what is your thoughts on Lambo doors on a Mustang? Are you talking like your Mustang, Jerry? Or are you talking about like an old Mustang? Because I'm really not a fan of the Lambo doors, personally. Um, I know they sell kits so you can do all that, and depending on what you're doing, I know your car is meant at this point to be a show car. Maybe that is something that would be appealing to that market. But for me personally, I'm just not a fan of it. I feel like there's things that can go wrong, as opposed to having standard hinges. You get make it more complex, and then you run a risk of something failing. But it may work good for your car if you're doing the show circuit. But I'm just not particularly a fan of it. Wild Bill 65 blue silver or silver blue poly. Okay. Dave Britton, is that a Manx? No, it is not. I will tell you that Suburban Hooligan got it right. Might be an El Lobo body, and that's exactly what it is. In fact, they made two versions of this, from my understanding: an El Lobo and a Lido. There were two different ones. This car, if you look basically where the windshield mounts, if you come straight down, there I have side panels. They're sitting somewhere. I have them up in the storage area. But they have these side panels that have a built-in fender, like a little curved piece, and a body color panel that ran down the side, and it would screw to the main body. But I didn't like the way it looked. I like this better. It just looks cleaner to me, because when you add in that little deflector, it looks like something from a golf cart that doesn't belong there. And so I elected to remove those. But yeah, El Lobo is one name, and I think Lido. I think the variation is something to do with those panels, I think. But I'm not 100% sure anymore. But you're right, Suburban Hooligan. Lightning Rod. Sweet dune buggy, huge metal flake. Do you remember when they used lace as a stencil? They still do that. They still do that. I mean, not around where I live. I think it's a lot out in California. But yeah, they still do that stuff. But yes, I do remember that. Leonard, try Black Rifle coffee. I think I've had some of that, and it's good stuff. Yeah. James, laying down 70s heavy flake in single stage was a pain in the butt to lay down without bottling. Oh, I guess maybe modeling or stripping. I would say modeling, not bottling, modeling, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that heavy flake was really difficult. Bad Harry, right now there's a shortage of black paint, can't get until end of January. Wow, okay. It's like now they're jacking up the price on everything, right? I'm getting off on a tangent, but have you seen the price of eggs lately? Anyone? Price of eggs? Price of everything? Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Doyle. The clear with metallic may not level out and clump with heavy deposits and be splotchy, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be difficult. Lightning rod, Lambo doors, no. Okay, I'm with you. Greg's Workshop checking in. Hi, Barry. Hi, Greg. How you doing, Greg? You know what? And I hope Greg is doing better. I really do. He was on here a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, and he had he told me he was, I think he talked about a 9-inch grinder wheel exploded. He sent me a picture. I'm not going to show the picture. I'm just not. Sorry. I just don't want to do that. But let me tell you, it was gnarly. It was gnarly. I have a great respect for those big grinding discs. Like I don't use them unless I absolutely have to. And Greg proved my point as to why. Let's just say, I think it was his left arm. There was a piece about that long that was missing, or it was open, whatever. It was brutal. It was brutal. It was one of those where you see a safety video, when you work somewhere and they say, "Hey, don't ever stick your hand in the lathe." Like, who would do that, right? And then they show you the pictures and say, "This is why you don't put your hand in the lathe." That was one of those pictures. Oh, yeah, it was rough. I hope you're doing better, Greg. I really do. Mr. Fireman checking in. Hi, Barry and everyone. Glad you're here, sir. Hope all is well with you. Did I mention my son's a fireman? My youngest son is a firefighter. Yeah, very proud of him. Terry Keithley, in 1970, I painted my 40 Ford pickup in 69 Ford Royal Maroon lacquer with Mira metal flake in the clear lacquer. Okay. Ooh. That must have been pretty. Thank you, Terry. Dawn, my brother and I shot lace on the hood of a 69 Cobra Fairlane back in the 70s. So there you go. Greg's Workshop. Hi, Barry, and Happy New Year, everyone. Yes, same with you, Greg. Leonard, $8 a dozen now. Yeah. I wonder how that happened. You wonder, how does that happen? It's like somebody has a plan, to manipulate and really mess up the world markets and cause problems for everybody. I don't know. Just a thought. I could be wrong, but I'm not. Chris, that lacquer paint still keep and looks deep. Just the problem is the oxidation rate. Yes. Dawn went to Fred Meyer and the eggshells were empty. A sign said, "Avian flu has decimated the industry." Avian flu. Like, that's something new we haven't seen in the last 30 years. Avian, yeah. I trust them. Rick Stevenson, there isn't anything you can buy that isn't affected by the price of diesel. That is an accurate statement. And if you haven't heard, just to give you some idea, just something, been in the news. The current administration is looking to put a tax on every single barrel of oil imported into the U.S. In the meantime, we can't produce oil, right? Every barrel of oil, there's going to be an additional tax on that barrel. Along with that, anything coal-related is now going to have an increase in taxes on it. Who'd have thunk it? And what was the other one? Oh, yeah, they want to put taxes against our retirement accounts, 401k, IRA. Force you to go into basically a tax, but force you to invest in one of the government funds. Yeah, just some information for you. Harvey, the builder of a rat rod truck, told me that he used his mother's old curtains to lace his roof. First time I saw that was last summer. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's still kind of a cool look to it. It is. Dave went to Home Depot the other day for some more cans of great stuff, foam spray insulation. 6 years ago, it was $5.99. Last year, it was $11.99. Last week, it was $21.99. I thought it was mispriced, but no. Yeah. Here's another thing. Nothing I heard. Don't know how accurate it is. Could be wrong. I've heard the price of beer is apparently climbing exponentially, and people aren't buying it anymore. Oh, there's the compressor. I forgot to turn it off. Yeah, so I'm hearing that. Hope the compressor's not too loud. Sorry. Chris, with buffing and everything else, I like it. Are you talking about the lacquer? Dennis, eggs are 1 dozen large, $4 in Western Canada. Well, that's actually a good price. Do you do shipping? Will you ship? Oh, Greg. Okay. Whew. I couldn't tell, Greg, because I know you've got some tattoos and stuff on you, and the picture was not. I could. Nobody's face was in it, so that was a friend of his that had the big open gash. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. I hope he's doing much better, Greg. Lightning rod. Have you ever tried pinstriping? What an amazing talent. Um, Not really. Let me tell you this. I went to a World of Wheels show. Not World of Wheels? Yeah, World of Wheels show. And you know when you go to those places and they advertise stuff, they have stuff for sale and demonstrations, and it's like, ooh, check this out. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I fell for that. I did. Because I thought I wanted to try something. Have you ever heard of this company? It just happens to be in my drawer right here. Have you ever heard of this company? Bugler? Not Bueller. No, not Bueller. Bugler. Beugler. They did a demonstration there that I was so amazed by that I bought one of their kits. And they've got a card in here that says squizzies.com. I don't know what that is. But basically, this is the kit. And I've used it. It's pretty cool, actually. What it is you've got these vessels that you can draw paint up into, and you've got these. Let me see if I can get it out of here. You've got these tips, and we've got a roller wheel on it, and that roller wheel attaches to the end of this, and this releases the paint, and you can pinstripe, you can roll it out, you can do it. Yeah, with a few years practice. I never got to it. I tried. And then we've got this other one. This is a pretty cool one. This one comes with a guide. You actually attach this piece to it, and you can follow like a line. Like what they would do, the cheat way to do it is they take a magnet. They've got this roller magnet with a groove cut in it. You lay that out the length of the car, right? You put this up in that groove, and you just walk it, and it follows the groove, and you end up with a painted on pinstripe. Yeah, I was really impressed by it. So I bought a kit, and I even bought the extra little thing, and whatever. Guess what? I've never pinstriped with it. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea. Bugler. Just happen to have it right there in a drawer. But yeah, it's really, whenever somebody knows what they're doing, it is really cool to watch them do it freehand stuff with the brush and all that. Yeah, it is cool. You're right. Shane, your coffee mug would indicate you are a NASCAR fan. The crowd was chanting. I used to be a pretty serious NASCAR fan, but after they started having like lunch breaks and stuff in the middle of the race, I kind of lost interest in it. I like old NASCAR, cars with metal bumpers on them, yeah. I like the old NASCAR. Chris, Dennis, we are lucky with the agricultural breadbasket Canada compared to the U.S. Probably so. Dennis Paulson, fresh farm eggs, $5 a dozen. At least there is one. At least there is one. Or at least there is one. I'm not sure what we're implying there. Lightning rod. Regarding the current administration beyond brain dead. Yeah, I won't argue that at all. Leonard, I was ready to go get some Sam Adams. Yeah, I have some Oktoberfest that I keep in the fridge for like a as long as I can. I keep it for a while. Yeah, because I like it. It's almost like a treat. Dennis Paulson, things are cheaper in Canada. Yeah, somebody's trying to call me. No, they're not. I don't know who that is. Chris, Dennis, we are lucky with food, but rent and taxes in I'm Ontario and 13.4% on everything. Yeah, that's your trade-off. That is definitely a trade-off. Lightning Rod regarding beer prices. Joe Daddy's Moonshine. Yeah, well, you still have to cost the ingredients for that. And Lightning Rod, good info on the pinstriping. The guys that do it by eye are amazing, not me. Yeah, I've always had this kind of. I bought the pinstripe kit. I've actually bought an airbrush kit, and I did some experimental airbrush stuff because I thought this would be so cool. And I did some flames, and they came out fantastic. They really did. I followed the template, did what they said, and I was like, I don't have time for this. I got things to do. So I moved on to going back to just doing my thing, getting stuff, heavy work done. Dave Britt, most things are way more expensive in Canada except for food. Well, yeah, there's your trade-off, right? There's your trade-off. Dawn, I use one of those pinstriper tools to paint the indicator line on plastic fader knobs. They paid a nickel a piece. I could run 3,000 an hour. Nice 80s cottage industry. Wait a minute. I used one of those pinstriper tools to paint the indicator line on plastic fader knobs. They paid a nickel a piece, and you could run 3,000. So you weren't hand painting those. It had to be some sort of machine that you were operating, because there's no way you could do 3,000 an hour, not by hand, not unless you had a whole bunch of. Never mind. Chris, Dave, we unfortunately aren't in the right province. Our West taxes are 5-6%, 5 or 6%, but need heat is expensive out there. Okay. Shane, Captain Jack Sparrow to Brandon. But why the rum? Yeah. Doyle, are you going to bring the Blue Mustang up to the level of Jade? That is a good question. I'm debating. I had Jerry ask me the other day if I wanted this, if I was going to sell Jade. And yes, I would sell Jade. I would. I definitely would. And if I did that, then I would build the Blue Mustang to replace Jade. That would be my goal. I would build it back as a coupe, just like Jade. And I would probably do the original paint, which is the Acapulco Blue, on that car. But I would upgrade. Like Robert has did the suspension upgrade for his car. I would do that. I would upgrade the suspension on the car. Probably upgrade the brakes. Variety of things like that. And it would probably be as nice as Jade, if not nicer. So that would be the goal if I commit to selling Jade, which I'm willing to do. I haven't advertised it. It would have to be somebody who would, maybe ask me at a car show or something. Hey, you want to sell that car? Ah, sure. So, but yeah, I would do it at that point. Otherwise, right now, I'm in no rush to do much of anything to that car. I mean, I'm going to fix it, get the sheet metal right, and all that sort of thing. But it's way on the back of the list right now. Just the way things are, just the way it is. Dawn says, nope, by hand with a jig, 50 at a time. Their hot stamp machine ran at $400 an hour at 14 a piece. What? I don't understand what I'm talking about. So you're saying you 50 at a time with a jig. I guess I get. Maybe you're saying a fader knob, like for a radio. Is that what you're saying, Dawn? Indicator line on plastic fader knobs. So not a car part. I don't know. But yeah, 50 at a time, that makes more sense because you wouldn't do one at a time. You'd be just take forever. Forever. That's a expression. My former business partner, his son, would come occasionally help out at the body shop, and he would ask, what he could work on or whatever, and I'd tell him you can block sand this car, or block sand this, and his expression was always, "That's going to take forever." Yep, you're absolutely right. It is going to take forever. Okay, Dawn, fader, an audio mixing console. Okay, that makes more sense now. Lightning rod, Jade would be a very desirable car should you ever decide to sell. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. And, I guess if the timing works out, that's fine. That is fine. I've got plenty of other stuff to work on and do. Obviously, the blue Mustang, the red Mustang is sitting outside under a tarp. The 67 is sitting outside the other coupe. Of course, the basket case Camaro is sitting outside over here under a tarp. And once I get the Bronco done, there should be a 69 fastback coming to get worked on. That's going to be the next thing on the list. So, Chris, Jade is far better than those dealer scams of late, and you have video evidence of not being a shyster. That is true. That is true. Yeah, there's definitely nothing that I could. I have nothing to hide. I mean, it's all, you could watch every one of the videos and go, okay, he did put in the floor pan. He did put in the torque box. He did put in the blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, very accurate. So anyway, if, let me think what I was going to ask. There was something else I was going to ask. Oh. Never mind. Lightning rod, will you sign the dash? Sure. Actually, what I want to do, one thing I haven't pursued it yet. I need to find somebody that has a like a laser CNC type of machine. And what I wanted to do with Jade was make a Joe Daddy's, my logo, in a laser cutout, and put that in the center of the dash, or not the dash, center of the grill. Just kind of like my little thing. Just have a Joe Daddy's logo right there in the middle. So I haven't pursued it. I know there's people out there that can do it, but just do the laser cutout of the sheet metal. I think that would look pretty cool. And then I could make more of those. I could just do a variety of options with that sort of thing. But yeah, that's one idea that I had. I just haven't pursued it. I got so much going on, all over the place. Okay, I've talked about the Bronco. We talked some about the Mustang. I still have a video to make on the Loki Thor multi-function battery jump starter / air compressor / pressure washer. I still have that to go, and I'm waiting on that scan tool to show up. That's the other thing. And I keep having other companies. I had another one contact me recently and say, hey, Can we send you another welder? I'm like, I got welders everywhere. I got I got too many welders. But I don't know. Lighting Rod says that would be cool. Yeah, I think so too. Dave Britton, I would love a plasma table. I take it you would too. Sure, if I had the room for it. Yeah. Chris, I'd rather buy a derelict sitting car or a half done project. Most honest vehicle out there now. My former was a derelict brother, passed away car. The Montego is a man with little desire of it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the difficulty is trying to find one that you can trust. This is after finding a SS, yeah. Gomer Pyle, what happened with the Brooklyn Pony? Um, well, it got complicated. You know, there was a goal or a vision going on to build that car, and I was doing that for the owner. Um, Eventually, I don't know what happened. I really don't know, but I wasn't getting parts anymore. I wasn't getting the stuff that I need to make the project complete, to finish it, and for whatever reason, and so I just put a nail in it, said I'm done. I was done. I got tired of waiting, tired of begging for parts, being passed around, like I'll get it, and then never get it. So that's what happened with the Brooklyn Pony. So put a nail in it, and it's done. So the car itself isn't here anymore. I see Dave Britton has asked, "Where's the Brooklyn Pony now?" The owner came and got it over Thanksgiving. Yep, it's out of here. He did ask what if there was a possibility that I could finish it someday. I said there's a possibility, but it's not a very big possibility. So anyway, good question. Thank you, Gomer. Thank you, Gomer. Sorry, voice is starting to go. So Chris was saying after finding an SS Chevelle. Okay. And Chris, Joe, have you ever thought of asking auto crafters? Um, I don't even know what auto crafters is. I'm not sure what auto crafters is. You'd have to enlighten me because I have no idea. Dave Britton, Brooklyn Pony's gone. Lightning rod kicked my butt to get me going on my 65 A code Mustang, factory AC disc brakes, pony interior, black tan. That sounds nice. And like you, too many projects. Yep. Yeah, and I'm also, I mentioned this before. My wife and I have talked about getting a camper, getting a motorhome, and maybe start doing that traveling thing that we were talking about. But we have to make sure everything is lined up before that kicks in. So I'm still looking. I'm still looking for the right camper. If I find it, I may just go ahead and buy it. But we're still playing with that idea. Gomer says, "Sorry to hear that. It was an epic build." Yeah, I am too. I really wanted to finish that car. I did. But when your frustration level is so high that you're losing sleep over it, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Chris, Mustang Comet, Fairlane Parts, they sponsor a few YouTubers. Oh, yeah, I've not tried that. Well, did you decide to go with the adhesion promoter on the firewall? Yes. In fact, it's right here. Yeah, that's the plan for now is to, and I'm going to research it a little more and look at the information that's out there, because it was talked about where you could wipe down the galvanized material with white vinegar is what and somebody actually commented on one of my other videos. They said you have to get like the white vinegar from Home Depot, like the 30% or something, to get that to happen, not like store-bought stuff. Like, anyway, Going to wipe that down, make sure everything's clean, spray it with the adhesion promoter, which is to go for galvanized, and then spray the undercoating stuff or the bed liner stuff on there. So yeah, that's the plan. And then in the back section, where I'm going to put the body color tinted bed liner, that area I think I can get away with spraying epoxy. I've talked to my PPG rep, and that's what he does. He scuffs it all real good, seam seals it, makes sure everything's tight, sprays it with epoxy, gives it a day or so, and then comes back and sprays it with the Raptor. So, good question, Doyle. Dave, I've started to add up how long my project will take that I want to complete, and I hope I am still alive at 100. Yeah. Yeah, I know the feeling. Lightning rod, travel back to PA and help on the 65. Well, you never know. You never know. Bad Harry the Camper deal sounds good. Great. Could make some good content to watch. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, is to consider what kind of content I can make, because I can make video of us traveling, right? So we go to point B, or on the way to point B, we make some video content for that. Get to the destination, get the camper set up wherever we're going to be, and then I travel to wherever the person that I'm helping. I think it would be great content. I really do. Thank you, Harry. Rod, I'll pay in pork and sauerkraut. Well, I don't know if that'll pay or not. That would get old pretty quick. Can't have that for more than a day or two. Rick, Autocrafters is a place that sells restoration parts in Broadway, Virginia. Okay. I have not heard about them. I mean, I may have heard the name, but just never made the connection. So, I don't know. Maybe it's worth the time to talk to them. As it is, I'm getting ready to call it a night. I'm getting hungry. We're talking about pork and sauerkraut, and I've got some leftovers in the house, and I'm ready to go eat those. Yes, mashed potatoes too. Well, okay, mashed potatoes are getting better. Dave, Barry, have you ever seen those little vintage-looking cars that are called cycle carts? They look like a ton of fun. I have not. I'll have to look that up. Okay. I'm gonna call it a night. I've got to edit the video down for the paint process I did on the dash and all that stuff, and that'll be coming up later in the week. I may do the video midweek, maybe for the radiator repair on my daughter's Kia. Maybe, got to keep that content flowing, keep people interested. Most of my videos that get the most views don't deal with classic cars. Most of them, probably the number one video right now is leaning towards replacing a broken lug nut stud, is one of them. And then the body repair video that I've done to show how you do body work. So anyway, thank you all for being here. I look forward to being back again next Monday at 7 o'clock. So bring your questions, bring your comments, bring your friends. But until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.